Thit Kho translates to caramelized pork, or more generally, caramelized meat. And it was truly one of my most favorite dishes as a kid. I would beg my mom to make it all the time. And I have to say, the eggs are one of my favorite parts. All of the spices and seasonings get soaked into the eggs, and I have to say they're the perfect vehicle for flavor. I know this looks like a lot of eggs, but I really love eggs, so it'll be okay. Once your water's boiling, you're going to want to place as many eggs as you want in there. Once your eggs are done boiling, quickly place them to an ice bath so that they stop cooking. Then you're just gonna go ahead and carefully peel all of them. Don't worry about getting them perfect. Mostly it's about the flavor and not the presentation.
What you touching those eggs for?
I didn't know if they were all peeled.
So for this dish, we're going to use roughly 50% pork belly, which has a lot of fat in it. There's something about pork belly that is just really beautiful. I think maybe it's the marbling on the fat. I don't know, maybe I just romanticize my food too much. We're going to cut it all up into roughly 1 to 2 inch cubes or slices. I'm gonna go ahead and toss all of that pork belly into a pan. And for the other 50%, we're gonna use pork shoulder, which is a lot more lean. And then after cutting the pork shoulder, we're gonna throw that in too. Next, we're gonna parboil the meat, which is really customary in Vietnamese cuisine. It's believed that pork especially has a lot of impurities. So because of that, a lot of Vietnamese people will go ahead and boil the meat so that all of the impurities are gone. Do you see all this scum right here? I know some people consider it flavor, but we consider it dirty. So go ahead and grab a colander and dump your meat out. And then we're going to quickly rinse it. Once you're done, go ahead and add your meat back into the pan. And I know that this may sound really strange, but I'm actually going to be using a can of Sprite. If you have coconut soda, please feel free to use that, and that's a lot more traditional, but I only have Sprite today, and it totally works in a pinch. I also happen to have a little bit of coconut water sitting around, so I'm going to go ahead and add that as well, but you totally don't have to. The soda and the coconut water serve to add a great sweetness to the dish, which is why I love to use them. Next, and arguably the most important ingredient, is fish sauce. I'm just adding a very generous amount, and I'm tasting it along the way to make sure that I put enough. After the fish sauce, I'm adding a generous amount of oyster sauce, and then I'm just filling it all up with water. I'm also adding a spoonful of seasoned salt. And then I'm just letting all of it come to a boil, and I'm letting the meat get super tender as I go ahead and make the caramelized sugar. This in Vietnamese is pronounced nước màu. It directly translates to like colored sauce. And essentially it's just sugar and water, and you're creating a really deep, dark caramel. The ratio is roughly 2 spoons of sugar to 1 spoon of water. And you want to be super careful with this because it can burn super quickly. But as you can see here, I'm just continuously stirring the sugar and water together. Until it forms a color that looks like this. You just want to take the caramelized sugar and then add that to all of your meat. The Nuoc Mo gives the dish a wonderful dark color as well as providing a ton of sweetness and flavor. Go ahead and just mix that all up. Leave your heat on medium as we prepare some other ingredients. At this point, I personally love adding a whole sliced yellow onion. It becomes super soft and flavorful once it's boiling with the meat and the eggs. Oh, and we cannot forget about our eggs. Boop, 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 boop. Dropping each one in there. I'm just giving that all a light toss. And then I'm leaving it alone for roughly 45 minutes. Your water should reduce dramatically, and essentially all of the flavor will just soak right into the eggs and the meat and the onions. And you're left with this gorgeous, dark-colored, almost stew-looking product. And you can just tell that the flavor has soaked into all of the eggs and the meat, and everything is so incredibly tender and delicious. Look at that. I personally love eating it with a nice hot bowl of rice, and I'm just putting a generous amount of pork shoulder as well as pork belly in the bowl. Of course, you can't forget about the egg, my favorite part. Also, just for some added nutrition, I am adding some sliced Persian cucumbers, which is also usually what my mom would serve this dish with when I was a kid. Ooh, look at it. I'm so excited to eat it. Let's go ahead and give it to my hungry girl.
Here you go, Bug.
Oh my gosh, thank you, baby. This looks delicious. Ooh. I'm so excited. Ooh. It smells so good.
What do you think, Bug? Good?
Delicious. Thank you, baby.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
10 million.
Gotta pop open that egg. It's gonna be hard boiled because of the way it's cooked, but.
Okay, egg, pop off. Okay. Thanks, baby.
Mm-hmm.